Wingman can't plant the spike. And I'm not talking about multiple times where we've seen it plant wrong, so there's just a little gap for the enemy team to defuse. I'm talking about this game, where the Astra util actually made sure the Wingman can't plant.
Blind! Wall in place! It's a massacre! Sentinels left in pieces!
We're going to start this one off. It is Heretics against Sentinels, and Sentinels are known for playing a Yoru on bind. But they decide to do this. They change it up to a Gecko on Tense, the Tekko, and this is the first time we've seen it played. So this is what's impressive about this whole thing, is Heretics kind of have like 2-3 minutes where the coach can speak to the team as well before the barrier drops the pistol, and they can talk about how do they want to approach this change up. Right, the Gecko's here. How are we going to approach that? What do we like to expect, and what do we want to do against it? And what they wanted to do against it was actually really impressive. If we look over towards the minimap, we are going to see a Astra Star go down. And on this round, it doesn't quite work. We're kind of trying to work out what they're doing. Wingman goes into plant, and he gets pulled further back. And we're thinking, oh, okay, so they want to just essentially change the plant, so maybe they have something where the after plant mollies are going to miss this new plant. What actually happens is later on in the game, we start to realize just how they were going to use this star originally, and maybe in that round before they messed up a little bit, right? They didn't place the Astra Star far back enough. As you can see here, there's a plant area, right? And if you get pulled out of the plant area, normally as a person, you'll stop. But when it's Wingman, he actually fully just dies and just drops the spike. So every time when they wanted to plant, or they knew that Wingman was going to be sent out to help them get through the choke points, instead of having to worry about shooting Wingman, they would just place an Astra Star that was just beyond, right? So say this is the plant spot, that the middle of the Astra Star would just be here, and then Wingman gets pulled out into the open, dies, and then drops the spike. So I just thought this was a great way to approach. Very impressive considering that they did this within the 2-3 minutes that you have to talk once you actually see the surprise of the comp. We saw it used multiple times throughout the game. Sometimes it won them rounds, sometimes the round was pretty much already done. But yeah, just overly impressive. It was such a small little thing that people would have missed, but I just thought, really cool way. Maybe we'll see it in the future, especially as more Astra is getting played with Yoru and more Gecko is getting played as well. Last example here on the last round. This one's a little bit ambitious, but again, you got to just try and put yourself into these positions. 1v3, Boo goes down to 1 HP, and here's the Wingman going out, and here we just see it in full time. Puts the star down, places it well, and Wingman just drops the spike. Obviously, with the 1 HP, he can't win this, but I think it did help win them the 6 rounds, and I just thought it was a great adjustment on the fly. Speaking of on-the-fly adjustments, I wanted to highlight Gen G against Sentinels. This is the first time they played on Breeze, and Sentinels' game plan was to just rush over towards A, as we can see here, grouping up. And all the time when I watched Gen G, Karen would just play over towards A. Every single time in this box, close. Knife goes in. So this was the whole plan. They used it on the pistol to try and knife the Astra, to dash before he got the util out, and just to pretty much just abuse the Astra over towards A site. Similar story in terms of the third round as well. Sentinels go in for that fast hit. We got Karen over towards A, but this time actually using their util a lot earlier, right? This is a smoke a lot earlier, and then falls back, uses this smoke early. We still see the knife come in. We still see the original plan to abuse that player over towards A, but instant adjustment from Karen here. Just a little bit of step ahead, and just pretty much just learning from the pistol rounds. Now, moving over to the 5th round, this is the bigger adjustments from them. So we saw like a micro adjustment of him just kind of falling back and just using the util a little bit earlier. Now we see this, and this happened for like the next 3-4 rounds, where Karen essentially just played over towards the left of site or over towards stairs, just so that all the util could be used to enable the jet. And I just thought this on the fly adjustment was great. It made Sentinels look a lot worse, and it kind of made the game plan look a little bit foolish, just with one small move, and just fast learning from Karen and potentially the coach after a timeout as well. The last game I wanted to highlight is the rematch. Sentinels against Gen G, and Sentinels are playing a lot slower. They're going up against a comp that has no actual Sentinels, so it struggles to get information. And the main thing that I want to highlight in is Yoru. Yoru is using his TP at pretty much as the barrier goes down from Gen G. It's still early on, and they don't realize they're slow playing. If Sentinels wait long enough, both of these TPs will run out, and then they can hit a site with only 2 people there. Fast forward to round 19, and Genji have started to work out that they're playing slower. So what does Yoru do? He waits. He waits for the TP. We get to 125. That's when he's placing it down, right? We can see it now on the minimap. So just this extra 15 seconds of waiting really messes up in terms of Sentinels going slow, and this ensures more chance of there being the Yoru on the side that they can hit. So lovely adjustment. I was just impressed with all of these adjustments. This isn't like game plan. This isn't a whole day to think about what you want to change. This is on the fly, coach timeouts, or even just before the game has even started. If you like this kind of content, let me know. Thank you so much for all of the subs, all the likes, and I'll see you on the next one.